Here to tell us what shows we should be catching up on this weekend is TV and film critic Rebecca Perfect. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
Now then, Empire. This is a big hit in the States.
Massive hit in the States. I think 9 million people in the States watched Empire when it first launched over there. That is phenomenal. And
you were there, weren't you?
I was there, yes, I was. And I saw all the hype around it. It really is some sort of a phenomenon. And by the time the series finished, it was about 17 million people watched it. So it's absolutely huge over there. We've got it now here in the UK. It's a really, really interesting story about a guy called Lucius Lyon, played by Terrence Howard. And he is a criminal turned hip-hop artist who owns Empire Entertainment. And he's given the devastating diagnosis that he is suffering from ALS. And so he now has to work out who's going to take over his empire amongst his 3 sons. And in this first clip that we have from the first episode, his ex-wife, Cookie, comes back and she wants a little bit of a share of the business now that she's out of prison.
It's based loosely on King Lear, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. And there's also, every now and again, you see someone sort of mention King Lear in it. There was a line from one of his sons saying, yeah, this isn't King Lear, you know, or something like that. So,
but loads of also huge stars.
Yeah, it's amazing. Throughout the series, we're going to see people like Naomi Campbell crop up in it, Courtney Love, Rita Ora. What I think is really interesting about this is that actually it's not like a Glee-type programme when you think of a musical drama.
Yeah.
It's very organic, and the music just fits in very naturally to it. And I think it's, if you're after something that's got a little bit of everything in it and a lot of glitz and glamour, then this is definitely the TV show for you to get your teeth stuck into in terms of new series.
Would you be
cinema now?
Yes.
And I was very lucky enough to see this film last week.
Yeah.
Man Up.
Yes.
It's with Simon Pegg. I think it's brilliant.
It's lovely, and I'm so glad that you sent me to a rom-com because I do love them. And this is a wonderful, wonderful film. Actually, something that I think Richard Curtis would be proud of because it does feel, you know, along those lines. It's a great story of a 30-something singleton called Nancy, who is played by the brilliant Lake Bell. And she has a chance encounter with a guy called Jack at Waterloo Station, and he mistakes her for a blind date. And instead of just doing the normal thing of going, oh, no, you've got the wrong person, she actually goes, OK, yes, I am your blind date. And the whole story unfolds as to whether or not he realises that he's her Mr. Right. So it's just a lovely tale, really well acted and a lot of fun. And
a lot of the awards were for dramas based on real-life stories.
Yes, of course, and a lot of crime dramas in there as well. Things like The Missing, which was nominated as well. You know, we're pulling upon stories that really, you know, portray common themes within our audience that they can really relate to. And I think that's what British television does really, really well. We get to the heart of a really good story that audiences can sort of look to get inspiration from, or they can look to explore a little bit more because of what's going on in the headlines. And with that, I think that's what makes us a particularly strong country when it comes to television.
Yeah, well, I'm joined now by film critic Rebecca Perfect.
Yeah,
so do you think that we're going to see a trend of this now where it becomes more and more British talent being recognised?
I mean, why not? We are churning out fantastic talent, not only in film, but television as well. We're being recognised for our strong roots in acting. You know, someone like Eddie Redmayne, he's been doing it for years. He's been treading the boards. He's been on TV. He's been on film. He's not come out of nowhere. And now he's up in the Oscar race as one of the front runners. Couldn't be better.
Well, I'm joined now by film critic Rebecca Perfect, and all the money seems to be on Eddie Redmayne, doesn't it, for best actor?
Yeah, and it's great to see a fantastic array of British actors, you know, heading to Hollywood for the Oscars. I think Eddie Redmayne has done an incredible job in The Theory of Everything. He is almost transformed like a chameleon to become Stephen Hawking in this film. Benedict Cumberbatch, again, a great performance. But if I was to pick 2 people that the race was against, it would actually be Michael Keaton and Eddie Redmayne for this. It's an amazing performance from Michael Keaton as well.
He did it.
He really did, and I am so happy. It was an incredible performance. It's the right guy that got the award last night. It was just amazing. And, you know, if he's like slightly inarticulate in his speech, it's the biggest night of his life, so we'll forgive him for that. It was wonderful and humble and great to see.
Of course. George Clooney, though, paid tribute to his new wife Amal. Was about that. I'm sure she was very happy.
Reserved, though.
But I mean, he was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award there. We're not used to seeing him giving those public displays of affection, are we, really?
I think it actually really hits him. Throughout the whole speech, he's very humble throughout it, and he's, you know, trying to pick out those light moments of joking with his colleagues just to maybe save himself from, you know, cracking up a little bit and having a bit of a tear, because it did look like he was on the verge of that. But it's lovely. You know, he is in the public eye all the time with his relationship with Amal, and I think it's a really nice sort of, you know, thing to give to her as well.
So why don't you do that for us?
Yeah, OK, so Whiplash, for instance, is going to come out in about a week and a half's time. It's one of those films which really gets your heart thumping, it gets you really excited. It's about a guy who goes to a conservatoire for music and wants to be the best drummer ever.
OK.
And it's about obsession, excitement. It's also about, you know, unorthodox teaching, and it's really, really a thrilling ride. I think that this is going to be 50 Shades of Yay. I think whatever the critics say, this is already tipped to be the highest grossing film of the year. Fans of the books will be going in their droves to see whether or not Christian Grey lives up to expectations on the screen. It's going to be full of intrigue for anyone that just wants to see what a steamy book adaptation can look like, and I think it will do well.
Does it really give you a different experience watching a movie?
Yeah, I think the thing is initially, yes, on the surface of it, of course it looks like a gimmick. It's basically a mixture of a roller coaster and a movie, and it's great fun. And I think it lends itself to certain types of films that will embrace it and the audiences will enjoy it more. Whether or not it has more of a long-term effect, I would like to think so, because I think what we're looking for as cinema goers is something to keep us more engaged in the movies that we're watching. We're looking for more of those greater cinema experiences. So maybe if it does well in this initial sort of run of things, then maybe we will see it for a bit more long-term.